Hello and welcome to Onesies, a podcast of one season wonders and blunders. My name's Andrew.
My name's Emily.
And we are belly flopping our way through 1992's Going to Extremes. Wow, we are still in 1992. They aired this all. They did not cancel it by now. They did not delay airings by now. Disney or ABC was such a desperate place in 1992. One forgets before they started showing boobies and booties, and Disney bought them out. Okay, anyway, so this episode, I'm going to read the summary again because if you listened last week, you heard me have a reaction to this summary. Alex is torn between two lovers, the carnal Dr. Alice Davis and cute, considerate Caroline. Meanwhile, Charlie proves that there really are good spirits, and Kathleen discovers that Delia can't read. This episode is entitled Sexual Perversity in Jantique. It was written by Tammy Adler and directed by Gregory, I was going to say Giorgio, Prong. They do terrible work here. They also do not have any sexual perversity. And
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So Tammy Ader wrote an episode of Quantum Leap, 2 episodes of The Wonder Years.
Sisters, 11
episodes, which I liked that show. I feel like I liked that show.
Created a show called Strong Medicine that ran for 6 seasons, starring Patricia Richardson and is that Janine Turner? Not all of it. So it looks like Patricia Richardson left, but then Jennifer Lewis stayed. I like Jennifer.
She created it with Whoopi Goldberg.
Wow.
And Jennifer Lewis is in it?
Yeah. Oh, Rick Schroeder's on it. MAGA. Hey, there you go.
Oh, is he a MAGA?
Oh, yeah. Ricky Schroeder.
Boo.
Ricky Schroeder supports what's the name of that fucking murderous Wisconsin dipshit, that little kid who shot those. Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ricky Schroeder donated $2 million to that guy. Ricky Schroeder can fucking die. Happy days, everybody. So anyway, did Emily leave that in? So I never watched that show. I was vaguely curious because I always liked Patricia Richardson, who played the wife on
the Tim Allen show.
Yeah, and sort of suffered his terrible husbanding the whole time. And she didn't seem to be a piece of shit in real life, like what's her face? On Everybody.
Raymond.
Yeah. Everybody hates Raymond or whatever. She's a piece of shit. Patricia Heaton. Moving on to the show we are to more pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Not people, though, just shows. We've done our research, and it appears that everybody alive that was on this show is not a piece of shit in modernity. So that's nice. Let's talk about...
I would like to just get it out there. Charlie Moran, played by Andy... What's his name?
Lauer.
I almost said Andy Levy. That's somebody completely different. Andy Lauer seemingly is like a really good guy. And he
You have said that.
Travels the world, and he actually does healthcare related stuff. I don't think he's a trained doctor, but I think he goes to Caribbean. Oddly enough, I've seen on his Instagram Caribbean countries and offers medical assistance to people who are in need. So he seems to be a really good guy. And even though he's the worst character in this show,
he's atoning for his sins, quite literally.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Yes. It's like he learned
how not to act.
He pretended to be a terrible person, so he went and did something better.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, lovely. The cast list is not complete on IMDb, so we once again don't have what's-her-face's name. The lady who played Kathleen, let me get that, or not
Carolyn.
Caroline. Oh, wow. Oh, God. All right. We just need to start. I'm sorry, everyone. I didn't take notes, so
I didn't either. I didn't either.
I ran the episode through a transcription thing, so we are just going to try to remember as we go along based on the wonderful dialogue. Emily is not sure if the transcription software knows how to pronounce, what word is that? Ma'am? It's something like
Ma'am.
ma'am. Are you
Ma'am.
sure it's
Mom.
ma'am?
Mom.
Mom? Mom.
Yeah. Mom.
Mum. Um, Mum is the word. So, wow, okay. So we're gonna try this. The episode opens with, because that's how little effort I want to put into this show.
I mean, I hope that this just flies by, because like it it's been really bad. This episode was, it still has bad elements to it, but it's more like just boring. And like,
It's boring.
I don't care about these characters. I don't care about their
Right.
relationships. I don't care anymore.
Right. And it's not, Andy Lauer's arc has some racism optics to it, but it is not as overtly racist as usual. Now he's making fun of other people's religions, not of their skin color.
It just happens to coincide with their skin
Yes,
color.
it just happens to coincide.
Yeah.
Which is funny because all right, we'll get to it, but he comes off very dismissive of religions, and I'm like, is this guy not supposed to be Catholic from Baston? Okay. So it starts with him backing into some guys, or no, he parks, gets out of his stupid little car, and he forgets to put on the parking brake, goes down a hill, crashes into some guys, pasture for his sheep. The sheep all run away. The dude says, "Can you help me?" Charlie says, "No, I do not help." Well, okay, so he says, "No, I don't help Black people." He might be saying, "I don't help poor Black people." That's possible too. It's hard to tell. Charlie's bigotry is intersectional.
Yeah.
Because, oh no, I forgot. He doesn't say anything overtly sexist, but Alex will. Okay, so blah, blah, blah. He says, oh no, we cut. That's right. This goes on forever. That's what leads to some of the boring. Yeah, so then we cut to Alex saying goodnight to Dr. Davis. And she's like, you need to read about your up on some impotence because you are
not performing at a level
yeah.
that I think you should be.
Yeah, you need to get with it. So, and Alex is being very weird, and we had already had the terrible realization that Carolyn would be returning this episode, which is just fucking awful. But yes, and there's a line where he says, "The rope burn is healed. We can use my left hand again."
There's a little bit of your sexual perversion.
Yeah, that's about as far as we go, except when Carolyn, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
But then, oh God, and we're going to establish our next subplot too. So then Joanna Going sees Dahlia, the housekeeper, played by, this woman was like, keep my fucking name off IMDb. Keep my fucking name off IMDb. No, sir. Okay, so we find out Delia, the housekeeper, can't read. Because she shrunk clothes without reading the label. And
Kathleen, Joanna Going just keeps going, why don't you read the label? If you just read the label, then you won't have to air dry everything, and you can waste electricity instead by using the dryer.
Instead of drying it outside in our tropical paradise.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And then Alex goes in and said, I don't know, maybe I didn't put the credits in here. It's hard to tell. Did we miss the thing about... No, we didn't actually. We fucking didn't. Oh God, it just goes on forever even now. Alex comes home. Cheryl is actually there for a second. Mm-hmm. One of her 2 appearances this episode, I believe. And she's like, Carolyn called, and Alex is like, when did she call? Like, was it at a normal time where I could have been studying at the library? Or was it when I was clearly
making love to my professor girlfriend?
And they said it was 10 o'clock. What time is that? And he's like, I don't know. And then we do talk about Solomon's, and we even go to Solomon's again. Solomon has like some
good advice.
Yeah, Solomon's has become the corner coffee shop from Seinfeld. We really are coming along.
And I like that in this, Solomon is sort of giving Andy Lauer the business a little bit, trying to
I
get him to wake up to his
mm,
flawed way of thinking. Just like Carl Lumley later with Kathleen. I
yes.
loved that scene. I like stood up and applauded. I was so happy.
This would probably be the episode. This is the latest. This is the first episode in a while that's had this many black people having this many lines
Yeah.
on this island filled with black people. Um, but like they a lot of SAG cards got signed, or they got a fucking waiver. Actually, let's just
Yeah.
they got a fucking waiver because they're pieces of shit. Okay, so we then cut to Charlie again. He tries to offer the insurance, and he said the farmer says no because they've tasted freedom, and
Now they have bad
now
spirits.
they have bad spirits. You brought the bad spirits. Make it better. Charlie says, no, I won't take my insurance.
Also, your spirituality is stupid.
Yes.
I can't believe in this 1992 you still believe in this garbage.
I'm probably Catholic, which involves he's from Boston. He's from Boston. He's wearing a University of Massachusetts t-shirt. Yes, Charlie will present as a lectury atheist later on. However, his character, even though he's half of Fleischman, right? He's been split with Alex Lauren or with the other guy just down the center for Fleischman. His character should be Catholic.
Should be, but
he should be Goodwill Hunting. Okay. We then cut to Kathleen bothering Delia again.
Why are you hanging up all of the clothes? If you just read the label, you wouldn't have to hang up all of the clothes.
Delia says something along the lines of it. If you shut the fuck up about this, I will make you your fucking favorite dessert.
Yeah.
And Joanna Going says, why can't you read? Can you not read? Is there something wrong with you? Are you unable to read? Do you have that defect as a human person?
I love to read. I love the Brontes.
I love Wuthering Heights. Okay, fun thing about Twitter, RIP, is that before, the revelation of 2016, Twitter was a problematic place, but there was still wonderful things where you read actual, like, people getting their doctorates in literature talking about literature.
Yeah.
Nobody fucking reads Wuthering Heights. It's just something they put in here. Like,
it's something that, like, I tried to read when I was like in middle school because I thought it was like romantic and like, but I never actually read it.
Yeah. And it's like undoubtedly toxic and all sorts of shit. Like it's like, yeah, it's a patriarchal thing, undoubtedly. But anyway, and Delia's like, look, I'm 48 years old. I got 4 children, 3 husbands, 3 grandchildren. Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
And
let me make you your food and do your laundry and whatever.
And Kathleen's like, no, I need you to be at a book club with me. We're going to read 50 Shades of Grey. And Delia's like, Jesus fucking Christ, these white people. Cut to Alex and Caroline on their date, which Alex said would be taking place at night. It is broad daylight.
It's day for night. It's day for night. Haven't you ever seen Truffaut?
You're making it worse. Why are you making it worse? It wasn't that bad. Why are you making it worse? We could have just got through. Stop.
Oh, come on. It's funny.
Stop making my brain activate. Okay. They're on Alex's favorite beach. Does that matter? No. However, I was like, is that the beach where you first fucking came on to your professor? Did you take your date that you're hiding about to there?
To the very spot you saw her buttocks for the first time?
Yeah. Like, are you gonna bang her? Or are you checking? Because
No, I was
okay,
just no.
okay, don't be vulgar. Um, all right. So very quickly, he's like awkward and being sweet, which is really gross. It's like
Yes.
she's like, why didn't we just go to Solomon's? That would have been a fine evening out. And he's like, that is not a place.
Professors hang out there.
Professors hang out there. When you're with someone special, you want to take them someone special, and no one can see you being special together. And it's like,
Bing, 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 bing. Like alarm bells are
yeah,
going off.
like he's gonna fucking kill her and eat her. Um,
But also, he's got a secret family. Like,
yeah. Okay. You seem nervous. Are you nervous? No. Are you seeing someone else? Of course not. Okay.
put a pin in that. I hate the phrase put a pin in that, but put a pin in that.
Okay. I say that all the time, don't I?
I know.
Wow. Wow. It's just all coming out on this
I
Thanksgiving
slept
special
so
episode.
well last night that I am full of beans today.
All right. Do you have clammy hands? Because Carolyn's got clammy hands.
I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous around you, Andrew. I'm sorry.
She's
I
not
don't have
nervous.
clammy hands.
She's not nervous. She's.
I'm not that either. Sorry.
That's right. There you go. Bummer. So then, oh God, now that I see it written out, we're going to have some fun with this. Okay, so then Carolyn's like, you're making me nervous. Boys make me nervous. My grandma said that it's a sign of a disease and it should be dry. So she made me wear gloves to school dances. And then Alex is like, whoa, tell me about that. And she's like, what? And he's like, tell me about your grandmother. She's like,
So this is so weird to me because he seems to be almost like fetishizing her
yes.
like wholesomeness.
Yes, he is fetishizing her wholesomeness.
And it's gross. Like I feel like if he found out she wasn't a virgin, he would murder her. Like that level.
Well, based on when Doctor Who airs, we may never fucking find out. So, come on, Davies? Russell T. Davies,
Yeah,
RTD?
Davies.
Come on, RTD.
It's 6:30 GMT, so it should be soon.
I already saw somebody say,
Don't tell me. Do not spoil.
Did David Tennant
Okay.
take Doctor Who to the next level? And it's like,
Okay.
Doesn't matter if he does, because
he's going away.
He's going away. Though firing the black guy to bring back the white guy is very, very British. Okay. Are you interested in my grandmother? Yes, I'm interested in you and your. He says, I'm interested in the girl with the grandmother. Now, what this is saying is that he doesn't get any of this physical or emotional connection with Dr. Davis,
which we all know.
Which we all know because she's got her fist up his ass. So he's already talked to Dr. Davis about this. We have not actually ever had that arc. He never gave her the arc to talk about her granny and crumpets while she's fisting him before. This has not been part of the show.
Yeah.
And that's what I was expecting from this episode based on the title. But clearly someone in ABC was just like, shut the fuck up, get this done. We don't want to pay for any more of these. Just no. Don't draw any attention to this show. Like, somebody's going to notice how racist it is if anybody watches it.
If anybody cares.
Right. So just get it done.
Yeah.
Done with this shit. Tune in on Tuesdays to look at David Caruso's butt on NYPD Blue. Not this. Okay. So they talk about a cottage on the lake. They talk about the 4th of July. The 4th of July in Oconomowoc. Okay. Oprah, Uma. Oprah, Uma, Oconomowoc. We go through Alex, yes, that's his name, going, say it to me again, say it to me again, say it slow. And you're just like, what the fuck is going on? It's just so, this
again, he's like
colonizer really... name, right? It's not like she's going Quebec City, or like, I don't know, whatever. The city would be in fucking French, right? Like, it's not something like that. It's the name of a native tribe that was probably wiped out by the people who colonized that area. And he's just like, oh my God, I love this manifest destiny in you that
And
just isn't in Doctor.
He's from Chicago, right? It's not like they don't have shit like that in Illinois.
Right. There's that. He also said he knew Wisconsin, basically. And if I went around and talked about how much I was from Chicago, I would have a familiarity with the other states. Didn't he say he had a like?
I mean, Chicago is basically in Wisconsin. I mean, it's
Wisconsin
practically
is basically Wisconsin,
yeah.
or basically Chicago.
Yeah.
Hey now, the northest suburb.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So, oh God. All right. So then we cut to the clinic. Kathleen's there because they're like,
oh yeah.
Something happened with Eric Alexander at this point because she's in two
on
scenes.
Another call. Yeah.
She either she said no, or they were like, she's a little black for ABC. Just saying, she's this isn't Melrose Place where they had one black person for one season, then she quit. This is ABC. We don't even try. Okay. So she's just there to tell Charlie, or Kathleen's just there to exposition drop for Charlie, who finds out that more patients don't want to see him. The nurse who's been on the show, I think since the first or second episode, is back this episode, and she gets a line, which was cool. And she has a name. She doesn't talk to anybody else. She's not in any other scenes, but she is back for this episode. Presumably it was from before the waiver, so she got the SAG rate. And it's these two guys, and he's like, one of them's wearing a red shirt, one of them's wearing a blue shirt. And this is when you're just like, God damn, I can't believe they made grown-ass men do this in 1992. Like, it's... reading the dialogue, it looks like sitcom David Mamet. Like,
ooh,
yeah, it's just Charlie saying something, asking them to repeat. It's call and response, except white guy call and response. Like, or no, who else did that? Sorkin did that, right? On the West Wing? That was all Josh did. Yeah. And I mean, Rob Lowe could only handle that. Anyway, so no, not going to go down the Rob Lowe. We can just
please
away.
Don't get me.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Thank you.
So yeah, we get some of that kind of dialogue, but basically the guys are like, "Nah, man, you're fucking cursed. Peace out."
Oh yeah. So then Charlie is all going around like, I'm not cursed. I can't believe that farmer's going around telling everybody I've got evil spirits. Like, what kind of crazy world is this where people believe in evil spirits?
We then cut to the house where where Delia's granddaughter is getting home or getting to work, because Delia's going to put her to fucking work after school because whatever. And she wrote Grandma a poem. And
I don't have that.
She shows Grandma the poem, and Grandma just goes, "Oh, that's nice." But Kathleen, watches it. Carol and Kathleen and Cheryl. Gee, was there something going on with the guy who did this? They're the names of his mom and her two sisters.
Yeah.
That's what this is. Okay. The kid's like, "Hey, I wrote a rhyming poem." And, Grandma's like, "That's nice." And Kathleen's like, "I wrote a poem." And she's like, "Read it." "Oh, what is it? No, this is wrong." It says, "Is that right?" And it says, "Yeah, man." I don't think that's right. Do you know what the line is?
No, I don't remember. You're not going to catch me.
"My granny works hard every day. She goes to work. She does not play. But every night she's home with me. In the morning, she's the first one I see." Oh. And
sweet.
Kathleen's like, "I like your poem." And Delia's like, "All right, that's fucking enough. Go get out of those nice clothes and fucking help me with the sweeping."
Yeah.
All right. Kathleen and Delia share a look. Cut to Carl Lumley in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting in his car. And Charlie comes over and he's like, "Hey, Dr. Norris, can we talk about the new schedule?" And Carl Lumley's like, "I don't talk about the schedule unless it's a matter of life and death." And he's like, "But why am I on all the graveyard shifts?" And he's like,
"Nobody wants to be seen by you because you have evil spirits in you."
Yep. And he's like,
and then he's like, "You're a doctor.
You
Why
are
would
an
you believe this?"
accomplished physician. How can you possibly believe this curse stuff? What is a man whose friends won't work with him, Charlie, if not a man with bad spirits? Zoink! Cut to Delia confronting Kathleen. Why would you embarrass me in front of your granddaughter? Why do you think you think I'm a stupid woman? No, I don't. And then blah blah blah. Sorry I offended you. Then you could offend me if you tried. Joanna going, you've never been on a series that lasted past 17 episodes. Zap!
Wow.
Yep. And then she goes away. And then, oh God, Kim's requisite scene to get that fine paycheck. Kim is sitting on the porch watching. They say it's a kite, but it's more like a mobile hung from the porch. It's a bird.
It's a bird. It's a bird kite, kinda.
Not a like exciting kite. Kim's not kiting.
No.
It's tied to something and he's watching it in the wind. Yeah. Alex shows up and is like, hey man, you're not the fucking lead of this show. I am. You've got to talk to me. And he's like, I'm busy thinking. And he's like, well, we can't talk to Cheryl or Kathleen because, you know,
they're ladies.
They've got the V words, if you know what I mean. And they're like, what about Charlie? And they're like, oh, well, Charlie, I mean,
he's got his own thing going on.
He's a fucking white supremacist. Like, that's really weird. You know, he's probably going to become a fucking, what's the guy the presidential physician. Okay. So then we get the fucking thing that I thought was at the beginning of the episode. So I've been waiting for this the whole episode because of what you texted me about how do they not know what a fucking vampire is?
How do they not know what a metaphor is?
Oh my God. Or a vampire. They don't know what a metaphor is either because they start with one about the Dr. Davis is on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And if I pull over, she doesn't have a flat tire. She wants to fist my ass. And I can't leave. Now, as a member of Gen X, I grew up with many a film about many a sexual thriller, about men and women, very good-looking men and women who found themselves in situations where they could not extract themselves from risky sexual behavior.
Yes.
It was kind of just a thing, which the younger generation is pushing back against now because basically it's like, are the straights all right? Well, I mean, no, look at, no, 9.5 weeks. They're not. They're like, why didn't they just fucking, like, it's weird. They should have just talked. Okay. So anyway, but then they talk about gears being locked and steering columns. And then Kim is like, you crave Dr. Davis when you wake up and before you go to bed. And I'm like, oh, he's going to end up with Dr. Davis. And he's like, and many times during the day. And Alex is like, yes, I do. And I'm like, do you though? And then Kim's like, well, it's like alcoholism. Your inability to know when to say when. And should got Mark McGrath one. We should just send him one and see if he wears it. I bet he would. He'd be so touched. Okay. So God, here we go. So here's the vampire thing. Now we sort of talked about this, I think either last episode. Yeah.
Because they call him a vampire. And it's like, what do you even mean by that? So now we're getting an explanation of what they meant by that.
Now this is, of course, before Interview of the Vampire was a movie. Now that did bomb as a movie, but that year, this is sort of the era of vampires in the mainstream.
Yeah. I mean, sexual awakening. Hello. I was right at that age.
You and Christian Slater. Okay. Well, oh, good God. All right. You're a creature of the night. You've been kissed by another vampire. Like, what?
Yeah.
What's that? You've been seen the dark side. It's just like, and you like it. You need it. You can't live without it. Now, Kim is saying all this while the guy's clearly on something. Like, Eric Alexander, either they were like, she's too black, or she's like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Kim is just either probably stoned. or like on peyote or something. Like he's just like he's not in the show because that dude could not handle his fucking weed like he thought he could.
Yeah.
Um, Alex is like, I don't want to be a vampire. All I want to be is a doctor, not a sleazy creature of the night. I want to live in a 2-story house in the suburbs. I want to have 2 kids, one who sucks, one who's perfect. I want a wife that I hate and I'm too scared to leave. So instead, I want to cheat on her, but I don't.
I want to think about cheating on her twice a year and then be too afraid to do it or something. It's like this, if this is a 1992 Gen X view on marriage, goodbye. Like I'm really glad I dodged that bullet. Like just by a couple of years, but
That's what I want from my life, Kim. How can I do that if I'm a vampire? Well, that's a good question. Okay. Cut to Alex sleeping in bed during the day. Now, here's where I thought we were going to get a whole bit about him doing things that were like being a vampire. No, no. The one possibly good thing, they don't do it.
no, well, but they kind of do.
They
because
mention it, but then don't.
Because this is where I sent you the text message. Like these people don't understand a metaphor because now Carolyn comes to his window, knocks on his window, wakes him up. And he starts grilling her like, do I do other things that are like a vampire? Am I always sleeping during the daytime? Am I always sucking the life out of every scene I'm in? Am I always getting my portrait drawn by Vincent van Gogh? Like all of these terrible things. And I'm like, do you not understand what a metaphor is? Like
such a better show. Such a better show.
I know it did leave me longing for Dracula the series, honestly.
Okay.
But it was like it was so awful. But then she's all sweet and nice because she's sweet and nice. And I don't begrudge her that. They start like making out.
Yes, but first they have to talk rules. Because he doesn't tell her he's a vampire. He says he's a night owl.
He's a night owl and he likes pain.
No,
and
she draws the line at pain. So here's a problem though, right?
Yeah.
He's into pain.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to do that.
But
so now their relationship.
But he's talking about his relationship with Dr. Davis.
Yes.
And not necessarily any sexual perversion he actually has. He's just trying to make it clear that not make it clear. He's not trying to make anything clear. He's speaking in code the whole time.
Yeah.
And she thinks that he's talking about sexual perversion.
Yeah.
So they're talking on different levels.
Yeah.
And I thought this is the greatest basis for a relationship ever.
It totally is.
You can't talk to people in a way that I was done. This was the first scene I came back to when I restarted it. And I was like, I'm done. Like, what? This is whatever. It's stupid. But at least Carl Lumley comes in and does something cool near the end. But whatever.
Okay.
I was so over it. Like, he's not being clear. She thinks it's something completely different. Talk about how she draws the line at pain. They end up making out. He hasn't even brushed his teeth. He just woke up. Gross. Like, this is not romantic. This is disgusting.
After he's just said that what he's looking for is some woman who can keep house, that he can emotionally abuse and maybe cheat on twice a year. If he's lucky. Okay. So we then go to Charlie and Shepherd Tim, who does not have a credit, unfortunately. This is where Charlie says, dude, you can't be, I'm going to sue you if you keep telling people that.
Yeah.
And he's like, Jesus Christ, calm the fucking down, white kid. And he's like, I'm not going to get calm. This is not acceptable. And the guy's like, look, man, I'm a farmer. I'm just, living my fucking life. This sucks. You destroyed my property. There's no way for me to get it repaired. Like, we do not live in Worcester or something. Like, you fucked me over.
Yeah.
This is actually, like, the plot of this subplot is that dude's shit got broken because of Charlie, and Charlie didn't take responsibility for it.
Yeah.
even though he ends up resolving this, he never doesn't just acknowledge, he never recognizes any responsibility
Mm-mm.
whatsoever.
Your car gets stuck or something, you get frustrated and you end up barreling into this guy's like shed, breaking the fence and letting his goats escape, and you're fixated on the fact that this guy thinks it's because you've got bad spirits instead of the fact that you fucked up.
Yeah.
You can't even just take responsibility like,
Nope.
oh man, you have to fixate on some whether it's okay or not, somebody's spirituality.
Yes,
And
and then this
superstition.
scene turns into him telling him that he shouldn't believe the things he believes and think the way he should think.
It was asinine.
So we then cut to the clinic where Kathleen is talking to Carl Lumley. She's like, "Hey, Carl Lumley, have you ever noticed black people can't read? I have. My name's Joanna Going."
And Carl
he's
Lumley's like, I can read, and I'm going to tell you, read this from my script. Shut the fuck up.
she's like, my favorite part was when he makes the face, and they don't like let Carl Lumley have the shot. Like, this show fucking sucks. Like, Grigory Prong, he sucks. Like, this episode's really badly directed. And he misses the point all the time. But there's this shot where Joanna Going's going on about how she's got these flyers for her reading thing, and she's gonna like selflessly save the
all of the
illiterates
yeah.
of the island. And Carl Lumley makes a face, but we only get like a quarter of his expression, and Joanna Going like responds to it. Like, Carl Lumley was like, "I'm gonna let her have it." Like, the fuck? And she's just like, "Why are you making that face?" And he's like, "So have you ever heard of the Columbus complex?" And she's just like, "What?" And he's like, "Let me tell you what's up with what you're going through right now, white girl.
It was beautiful. The scene is so beautiful.
You don't realize that we were here before you got here. We know that some of our folks can't read, and we would like to help them. So maybe
we've already developed systems. You are not creating anything new here. Like, and did you ever also think that you're making a flyer and the people who need it can't even read it?
So
dummy.
He's like, maybe you should volunteer.
Yeah.
Maybe you should just fucking volunteer with an organization that's already doing good work instead of centering yourself in this.
And being some kind of savior.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. We then cut to, oh God, Colin, who we've established in this episode is just going to be around. We forgot to mention that in the first scene.
He's in the house and somebody walks in and is like, "What are you doing here?"
He's like, "I'm moving in." And they're like, "Oh,
yeah, I'm moving into your room since you're busy with your vampire lady friend."
Your vampire mom. Sex mom.
Vampire sex mom. That's Wilford Brimley Fuck Daddy and vampire sex mom.
Vampire sex mom. And Roy D.
Okay. I saw a clip from Dr. Strangelove. I guess it's like the anniversary of Dr. Strangelove sometime recently. And it was with George C. Scott. And I was like, all he's doing is a bad George C. Scott impression.
Yeah. That's all he's doing.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Yes.
It's like I've been saying it since the beginning, but then I saw it and I was like, oh fuck, that's all it is.
And it's like George C. Scott from the commercial promos for Mr. President Aragon Fox. Like, the show we desperately want to watch, folks, but I think it's 2 seasons and it's unavailable.
Shucks.
Release it, Disney. Release it. Okay. Okay, but they're at the Solomons. Eric Alexander is there eating. And who is she gonna date? Kim? Oh my God, she hasn't really had a plot since they were like, "Hey, are she and the white boy gonna fuck?"
Yeah,
wow. No. They got some letters. Roseanne was probably like, "I'm gonna quit if they fuck, just so you know." You might think I'm like working class progressive right now, but you're gonna find some shit out, people. You're gonna find some shit out about the swastika tattoo on my crack. Moving on.
Poor Roseanne. She's a crazy person.
In a
bad way.
Yeah. Solomon's like, "Here's your fucking food, Charlie. Shut up."
Yeah.
And Charlie's like, I ordered a burger. This is shrimp. The shrimp's for Colin. Give it to Colin. Colin's like, can I have my peppered shrimp? And Charlie's like, no, I don't want the shrimp. And Solomon's
And
like,
Solomon's like, my shrimp is good though. Why don't you
yeah.
want it? He's like, well, I don't feel like eating shrimp. I feel like a burger. And he's like, your feelings and bad spirits, what's the fucking difference, bro?
And he's like, I don't know, man. And
And so
then,
Solomon is like, in his grumpy, curmudgeonly way, trying to teach him a lesson
mm-hmm.
because he's in the background, hanging out, listening to these white boys kvetch about everything, and then trying to help them solve their problems by teaching them a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's the guy from the Peach Pit on 90210.
he's the guy from the bar on Northern Exposure, the old guy.
He's Woody Harrelson from Cheers.
He's Woody Harrelson from Cheers. Yes.
Okay, so he's Woody Harrelson in real life, sitting around, fucking stoned off of his ass, telling you about vaccines. Okay, so we then, and they're like, did you fucking learn anything in this scene, Charlie? And Charlie's like, I don't think so. And they're like, Jesus Christ, this show. And so it cuts to Alex walking by Dr. Davis's office. It's not her office, it's the faculty lounge, which, if we've seen before, has not been in this location.
Yeah.
She's in there with Carolyn. Alex is like, oh my goodness, what are you two doing in there together?
In the same
in the same room
time.
at the same time. And so he's like, I can explain everything. And they're like, you don't need to explain. I was just telling Carolyn that you actually know some of your doctoring shit, which is totally unbelievable at this point in the show.
And then there turns into the most cinematic thing I think I've ever seen on this show, where Dr. Davis is talking, but you don't actually hear anything coming out of her mouth, and it's kind of slow motion. And then Carolyn is talking, and it's the same thing. And he's just clearly panicked, not listening to a word coming out of their mouths until the end, when it's like, you should tutor her in this thing that you're good at.
But it's not even clear he hears that. He just goes, oh my God, I'm sorry. And he runs out.
Yeah. And in my mind, if I were Carolyn, I'd be like, ding, ding, ding. This is a red flag. Whatever. And even Dr. Davis, because she's not a dumb woman. I mean, she's educated, but she's also worldly, especially when it comes to relationships. I would think that she would recognize that something was happening. Whatever.
Okay. We now cut to Shepherd Tim's Shepherd. Colin and Charlie are there. Somewhere off scene, Colin was like, dude, you need to stop being a dick. Let's just go over and help this guy out with this fucking sheep. And Charlie's like, I really don't want to. And Colin's like, I'm going to go do it, and you're going to come with me. You can't just be this prick, dude. You can't.
So you won't listen to Tim the shepherd. You won't listen to Solomon, who's trying to help you.
You won't listen to Carl Lumley.
You won't listen to Carl Lumley. I'm white.
A taller white
Listen
guy.
to me.
Listen to me. And so they're trying to herd the sheep. They can't because he's like, Colin's like, we were dairy farmers. I don't know how to herd sheep.
Yeah.
And then we cut to them rebuilding the
shed or barn or whatever, and the fence.
It was, and the sheep are there, so we actually missed them getting the sheep there too, because who gives a shit. But yes, so now they're rebuilding what Charlie actually broke. This could have just been the episode, right? It could have been our regular cast doing
helping Charlie
raising. Yeah. Right.
And like, singing. I mean,
right.
There's this scene where Colin starts singing, and then Charlie kind of relaxes a little bit. Like every episode that Charlie is the focus of, he's too uptight and he ends up relaxing, but then he gets uptight again for the next episode.
Yep.
So they're singing and they're building, and then they apparently pass out at some point.
Yeah. Okay. So we then cut to Alex showing up at Carolyn's in the pouring rain. They could
It's not pouring.
Rain machines, and they could apparently not afford rain sound effects. They have some thunder at one point when it's very clearly not raining. They do, but not. He's have any
also
rain.
Not wet.
He's not wet at all. He does have an umbrella that is also not wet.
He is not wet at all.
Not wet at all. But they're living in a shared delusion where she sees the rain too. Um, he's like, look, honey, I lied to you. I have been seeing someone. And she's like, who?
And guesses some.
Margaret. I'm reading the transcript. Thank
Thank you.
goodness for this. Margaret Haney, the cocktail waitress at the Barefoot Hotel.
Never heard of the
That's
Barefoot
not
Hotel.
from this show.
Never heard of
That's
Margaret.
from another show.
Never heard of
And
these people.
nope. And he's like, yep, that is correct. I am dating Margaret Haney, the cocktail waitress from the Barefoot Hotel. And she's
So
like,
again, he's trying to come clean, but ruining it by lying again. Now, I understand why you wouldn't want to tell your love interest. I'm not even going to go so far as to call her girlfriend. Your love interest that you were fucking your professor, because that's weird. And on top of it, the details of their relationship were really fucked up. But you can't just lie. You can't just lie, because what if you run into this woman whose name I've already forgotten, Margaret?
Oh, Margaret Haney at the Barefoot Hotel.
What if you run into Margaret?
Luckily,
and then you have
not
to
on
like
that show. So what if the next 4 episodes are just the show like getting super, super white? Like Eric Alexander disappears, Carl Lumley disappears. They just bring in, because that's the other thing. Margaret Haney, the cocktail waitress at the Barefoot Hotel. It's a hotel on the island.
It's gonna be all white people. They are, the whole cast except for Erica Alexander are charged with being like in-house doctors at the Barefoot Hotel. And so they're just doctors to all the white people for the rest of the series.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. So Carolyn's like, oh, I'm sad. And he's like, but it's over with her. And because I want to be with you. And
she's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
No rebounding, Alex. He's like, oh, I'm not rebounded. I have learned how much pain I can take from a mommy figure. And now it is time
for me to inflict pain on a poor, innocent woman.
Farm girl, who I probably will make talk about her grandmother while we're doing things.
No, I want to take issue with grandmothers. Thank you.
So then he goes inside, and that's it. We then cut to Shepherd Tim waking up and finding the shed rebuilt. He's like, wow, this is what I was hoping would happen the whole fucking time, was that you would rebuild the shed, or, you know, something.
Atone for your mistakes.
Yeah, do something. And Charlie's like, what the fuck is he talking about? Why is he talking? I don't know what he's talking about. And Colin's like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. And
this isn't hard. Yeah.
They're like, how about, and then he's like, Charlie's like, look, man, stop being spiritual about this shit. There's no God. There are no, your spirits aren't, your religion's not real. My undisclosed religion might be real, but definitely yours is not real. I did this. I am the white savior of this scene. And the guy's like, Jesus Christ. Okay, dude, whatever. Do you want some breakfast? And they're like, okay, let's go have breakfast.
But only if it's something I want to eat.
Thank God we don't have that scene. Didn't we have a scene where he complained about the food? I think we did.
We just did. He didn't want the shrimp. He wanted the burger.
No, at somebody's house, he didn't want the food. Or was that Alex didn't want the food at somebody's house? Okay, so then we cut to the classroom. St. Anne's Parish Adult Literacy Program. So St. Anne's is the name of the hospital on the other side of the island that takes all day to get to, which we've established in the scene with the transplants and things like that. And so presumably Kathleen is traveling 6 hours every once a week to do this. But no, because this
and all of her free time that she has as a medical student
who's also policing everything Delia does. Let's not forget. Because she might steal something again. You know, you never know. She did take Cheryl's dress that one time. Like, Cheryl didn't think it was stealing, but, you know, they're both black ladies, so they have some connection that they just won't let.
No, Cheryl did think it was stealing. That was the worst part of it.
Well, okay. We then get to Delia comes in and they repeat the letters. Bloody, 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 bloody.
A
Okay.
B C D blah blah blah.
Jesus Christ, there's another scene with Charlie. Ugh. Okay, so Charlie and Colin are studying. Colin's like, dude, we gotta fucking study. You got a quiz tomorrow or something. Charlie's like, do you want to talk about being white saviors? And Colin's like, I really don't. Charlie's like, can we please talk about how good it feels to be white saviors? And Colin's like, oh, all right, fine. Cool. We're white saviors. We then cut to Alex and Dr. Davis
Right.
in what might be them keeping the bit the longest they have the whole show, because he breaks up with Dr. Davis and we get nothing from her.
Nothing.
No response. No, I've got 6 other dudes I'm fucking. No, Carolyn is a good fuck, isn't she, Alex? Or something like that. Not, she's got mommy issues too, Alex. Nothing.
No.
You ever see flowers in the attic? No. So, and then it leaves with Alex like, okay, bye. And that's it. He's like off to his suburban life.
Yeah.
It's really fucking shitty. It's also boring. It's bad. It's just so boring. They didn't do a single thing. We've been dealing with this for 12 episodes. There's no payoff.
Nope.
Whatsoever.
I'm kind of hoping it turns into like a scenario where Dr. Davis goes nuts.
Wow. Okay, so you're thinking Fatal Attraction. You're thinking
I'm thinking Fatal Attraction. I couldn't think of the name of the movie. Thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking.
You're assuming some sort of
well, we've already
bent on mental health and things like that.
But we've all no. It's not even that. I mean, yes, it's already there. That's the thing. We've already established that she's a sociopath who like is obsessed with sex and power. That power is being taken away from her. He is taking the power back. So why wouldn't she, then try to kill him and Carolyn and maybe like boil a goat or two? Like, I don't know. Like,
have you read the fucking synopsis for the next episode?
No, I haven't.
The next episode is entitled A Caribbean Christmas.
Oh, dear.
Kathleen and Colin get a little closer after riding a river in her Christmas gift, a kayak. Kathleen and Colin were paired together in the second episode or the first. They have not been paired together since Colin has fucked Kim and has snuggled up with Cheryl. It's been ages since they were a pair. Meanwhile, oh my God, Dr. Davis deals with Alex's rejection, Barfalugi, and Carolyn gets a present that is sure to disappoint Alex. It was just a regular strap-on. It wasn't an actual fist. Cool. So now, what is our schedule here with Doctor Who?
So Doctor Who airs tonight.
Okay.
The first episode, which I think is the only Catherine Tate episode. I think. I haven't been paying too close attention because I don't want spoilers. So if you are looking, do not spoil anything.
I'm not looking at that aspect of it. I'm looking at the air dates.
So today, 6:30 GMT, probably already happening.
There were going to be 3 with Tennant.
I thought there was just the one, but I could be wrong. Because again, I'm trying to avoid any kind of spoilers.
We are okay. So Doctor Who is not yet on the.
It's not. Is it not on?
No, it's not on.
Yeah.
I was looking at the TV database to avoid spoilers. Okay, so here we go.
Oh, the first special is now streaming on Disney Plus.
Okay, so the first special, Donna is in it. Okay, so Donna is in all 3. They air. Yes, they air the 25th, the 2nd, and the 9th. So we will be breaking, folks, from this season, and we'll be fasting forward to the future for a 3-episode season of Doctor Who. Now, if they actually do right by Donna, if they do right by a woman on Doctor Who, which has never happened on the series that I have seen, including the female doctor, if they do right by Donna, who they did the worst, they just
pretty close to the worst.
Pretty close to the worst. I've forgotten the others, thank goodness. Some of them just disappeared, but so did Donna in a way. If they do right by her, we will not be returning to going with extremes because it means that there is
a god.
Someone. Wow. Okay. Okay. You didn't want to talk about this on the pod, but okay. Emily's religiosity is very personal, everyone.
Directly related to Catherine Tate's character on Doctor Who. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So we will not be returning. So this is our last going to extremes for quite a while, hopefully.
Hopefully.
But we will be back next week
talking about Doctor Who, the first special. I don't even have a name for it on here. That's
Do you
weird.
want it is the Star Beast? Do
the
you
Star
want
Beast,
a synopsis, a 2-sentence synopsis?
Yes.
The Doctor is caught in a fight to the death as a spaceship crash lands in London, interrupting his sex in a morgue with Dr. Davis.
Shut up.
As the battle wreaks havoc and Charlie lectures Rishi Sunak on the superiority of the white race, destiny converges on the Doctor's old friend Donna, who is watching Rishi Sunak very uncomfortably agree that white supremacy is the way to go.
So Rishi Sunak is Charlie Moran's fault. Okay. All right. Interesting.
All right. So that'll be next week, folks. Doctor Who, the Star Beast, starring David
great.
Tennant. And
my smile will not go away. I will cry.
Roy D has passed away, correct? So he cannot be on it.
Bernard Cribbins will be on it.
Big heart from Emily. Wow, you made it work.
Anyway, that'll be great. Andrew, I will see you in television.
I'll see you in television land, Emily.